Namaste. I'm Pooja, the storyteller, and today's story is about one of the sons of Shiva. I'm sure all of you have heard about Ganesha, you've heard about Kartikeya. I'm not sure how many you've heard about Ayyappa or Ayyappa Swami. So here is Lord Shiva and Ayyappa Swami. So today's story is going to be about Ayyappa. I'm going to take you to a land, a distant land, the beautiful land of Kerala. There lived a king named Rajshekhara. Rajshekhara had a beautiful kingdom in Kerala. His people, the people in the kingdom, were very happy. It was a pious kingdom with a pious king. But everyone in the village would always talk about this. King Rajshekhara does not have a child. Now, what will happen after the king? Who's going to rule this place? And people really wanted King Rajshekhara to have a child so that he would be the new king. And they wanted the new king to be a pious soul, a nice soul like King Rajshekhara. But King Rajshekhara had a diwan in his court. And this diwan was very shrewd, बहुत चालाक था. उसने सोचा कि जब किंग राजशेखर चला जाएगा फिर क्या होएगा, मैं बन जाऊंगा राजा. I will be the king. And so Diwan always conspired and wished that he would be the king after King Rajshekhara. One day, King Rajshekhara and his wife, both of them were sitting and chit-chatting, and they happened to discuss about the child. And they came to a decision that they must pray to Lord Shiva and ask him for a nice baby. Yeah? So both of them started praying nicely to Lord Shiva, and every day they would sit and chant Lord Shiva's name, and consistently they kept chanting. On the other side, now this was all was happening in Kerala, and somewhere else there was a big Rakshas, this huge Rakshas whose name was Mahishasur. Now Mahishasur was a very, very strong Rakshas, and he started to, what did he start to do? He started to pray to Lord Brahma. And he did a severe penance. He sat and he stood in the wind, he stood in the sun, and there were ants rolling all over his body. But he was deeply engrossed in his meditation. And soon Lord Brahma was very happy with Mahishasur's penance. And Lord Brahma came and he said, Mahishasur, tell me, what do you want? I'm ready to give you a boon. Mahishasur was also very clever, very shrewd. You know what did he ask Lord Brahma? He said, Lord Brahma, grant me a boon that I should not be killed by any man ever, and nor an animal. Lord Brahma said, all right. And he granted the boon. And now, this Mahishasur, this Rakshas, started thinking that he is invincible. He's invincible and no one can ever kill him. It was as good as being immortal, isn't it? And because he was so bad and he was so confident that no one can kill him, he started harassing people on the earth. And all the three lokas, he started harassing people everywhere. He would just kill around, he would spoil the yagnas of Brahmins, sab kharab kar diya, sabko marta firta tha Mahishasur. And because this was happening, the devas got very worried. They thought, ऐसे चलता रहेगा तो बहुत problem हो जाएगी. Now they all sat together and they decided to evoke a woman. And so they combined all their powers, okay? Shiva, Vishnu, Indra, Agni, and so many gods. They all came together and they put in all their powers together and they evoked a woman who was called Chandika Devi. And this Chandika Devi had several hands, and every hand had one weapon. And she looked fierce, with big eyes and hair here and there. She was furious, and she rode a lion. And then she was all set to to attack Mahishasur. When Mahishasura's army of Rakshasas saw Chandika Devi, they informed Mahishasur, and Mahishasur said, "Go, it's just a woman. Go kill her and bring her away. I don't know why she's disturbing me so much and my kingdom so much." So Rakshasas went one by one, one by one, one by one. They went as a full army also. But Chandika Devi was super strong, and in no time she slayed all of them. And when Mahishasur got to know that my army is getting defeated by this little woman, a woman who's trying to kill his army, this full-fledged Rakshasas who was so furious, and this woman is killing everyone. So he wanted to go and see who this woman is. He set out himself for the war with Chandika Devi. And he took several forms of animals and he started attacking Chandika Devi. But very soon, Chandika Devi killed Mahishasur. And that's why she was also called Mahishasur Mardini. Now, after this happened, Mahishasur's wife came to see Mahishasur. And she saw that Mahishasur has died. And Mahishi, who is Mahishasur's wife, Mahishi was very angry, super angry. And she decided that she is going to pray to Lord Brahma again. She prayed and prayed and prayed, and she took a severe penance. And Lord Brahma did not have a choice but to grant Mahishi a boon. And then Mahishi also asked for a boon. And she said that I should not be killed by Vishnu or Shiva. Lord Brahma said, all right, fine. Now again, what happened? Mahishi was also a very wicked demoness. And she also started harassing everyone all over. And people were not very happy with Mahishi. And looking at this, Lord Shiva thought that we must bring an end to all of this. We have to have someone who can end all of this. And he went to Lord Vishnu. Now at that time, Lord Vishnu was an incarnation of Mohini, a woman. So Shiva and Vishnu decided to create a baby. Okay, they decided to create a baby. And soon they had a little baby with them. And they started thinking that who should the baby be taken care by? And then Lord Shiva said that in Kerala there is this King Rajshekhara who has been praying for a long time and he desires a child with his wife. Why not have this little child of ours go to King Rajshekhara? And Vishnu, who was in the form of Mohini, was very happy with the thought. And what did Mohini do? She took a gold chain which had a little bell and put it around that little child's neck. And then left the baby in the jungle. And they kept it exactly where they knew that King Rajshekhara was going to come. Now, King Rajshekhara was strolling around in the jungle near this river Pampa. And as he was strolling, he heard a very, very meek voice. It was probably a cry, wow, wow, wow. And he followed that direction. And he saw a little baby with a golden chain and a bell, and the baby was crying. King Rajshekhara picked up the baby, wondering whose child it was. And he wondered, what do I do with this child? I can't find his parents around. What do I do with this? And then suddenly a Brahmin came there. And the Brahmin said, King Rajshekhara, this baby, please take this baby along with you. I think it's destiny that you have the baby right here and you really need a baby. Why don't you take it along with you? Now Rajshekhara heard the Brahmin and looking at the beautiful eyes and face and such a cute baby, he could not control himself but to take him to the palace. As he turned back and started walking towards the palace, he realized that he needs to ask the Brahmin, what do we call this child? So he turned back and the Brahmin was standing right there. And he said, dear, what do I call this baby? And the Brahmin said, call him Manikanthan. कंठ मीन्स गला, गला होता है ना, उसको बोलते हैं कंठ, और इसीलिए नाम रखा गया मणिकंठन. And then King Rajshekhara took Manikantan home. The wife was pleased to see that little baby, and she ensured that she took full care of that little baby. They loved him so much, and soon Manikantan was sent to a very famous guru for education. And then the guru also realized that this child isn't an ordinary child. He's too good at everything. He knew that ये बच्चा कोई साधारण बच्चा तो नहीं है. And soon Manikantan's education finished, and he was going to be 12 years old now very soon. And the Brahmin who had met King Rajshekhara in the forest had told him that you will get to know who this child is when the child is going to be 12 years old. So king had just taken the child back, and now the child is right in front of the guru, and he says, आपको क्या गुरु दक्षिणा चाहिए है? So the guru said, I don't need anything from you. I know you're not an ordinary child. What I want you to do is, please get my son healthy. So the guru's son could not see, and he could not talk. So he said, can you please bless my son? And that's what Manikantan did. He blessed the guru's son, and the son could very soon see and talk. It was a new life for that little child of Guru. He went back, Manikantan went back to the palace. And when he went to the palace, now King Rajshekhara and the wife had another baby, their real baby. And now the Divan had his plans set again. He didn't want, in any case, that Manikantan would take the throne. He didn't want that. He wanted to take the throne himself, isn't it? What did he do? He went to the king's wife and started washing her brains with all bad thoughts. And he said to her, see, because of Manikantan, your real son will not become the king now. And the queen got worried, and she wanted her real son to be the king. And then both of them conspired. Divan said, do one thing, lady. Queen, you do one thing. Do what I say, and everything will be sorted. The queen trusted. And the Divan said, all you have to do is, you have to complain about a headache, and complain about it so much that the king gets very worried about you. And the queen agreed to do so. And the queen started touching her head and crying out, saying, my head is paining, bahut pain ho raha hai, bahut pain ho raha hai, and all that. Now King Rajshekhara got worried, and he called the physician, called wo time ka doctor, the Ved. And the Divan had already told the doctor that when the king talks about the queen's headache, all you have to do is to say that only a tigress's milk can cure the disease. So it was a plan set. The Divan had set up all the plans. He had ensured that the queen complains about the headache, and the doctor also says that the only remedy to all of this is the tigress's milk. And that's what actually happened. The doctor said that King Rajshekhara, the only thing that can cure this is a tigress's milk. Rajshekhara was worried. He said, how in the world can we bring tigress's milk? He still set out a few soldiers to find a tigress who had milk. And the soldiers went, many people went, but none of them could actually bring the tigress's milk. He was very worried. He was sitting like this when Manikantan came. And Manikantan said, Father, I would like to go and bring this tigress's milk for the queen, for the mother. King Rajshekhara said, no, you're still small. I don't think you should go to the forest for this. Manikantan, forced his father. He convinced his father and said that I will ensure that I bring the tigress's milk. Please give me a chance. Then Rajshekhara did not have any other option but to send the child. And Manikanthan went to the forest. Now, this forest was owned by Mahishi. Remember Mahishasura's wife, Mahishi? So when Manikanthan went there, Mahishi got to know about him. And then there was a big fierce war between Mahishi and Manikanthan. And Mahishi was soon slayed by Manikanthan. Looking at this, all the gods appeared in front of Manikanthan. And Indra said, I will take the form of a tigress, and all the other gods will also take form of a tigress, and we will come to you to your kingdom. And that's what happened. Then Indra took the form of a tigress, a big fierce tigress, and Manikanthan sat on the tigress. And many other gods who had also taken forms of tigresses and little tigers also walked. So there was a horde of tigers all moving towards the town, towards the kingdom. And then when people saw Manikanthan sitting on a fierce tigress and so many other tigers behind, the place was a havoc. Everyone started talking about Manikanthan. And King Rajshekhara also was very, very scared. But he got to know that this child is no ordinary child. And he bowed in front of Manikanthan and said, oh, please tell me, who are you? I'm sure you're not my son and you're not a normal human being. Who are you? Manikanthan said that I am the son of Shiva and Vishnu. Rajshekhara was full of tears and he said, I'm so sorry to what has happened to you. And I got to know about my wife and the Divan after you left for the forest. Manikanthan said, doesn't matter. This was bound to happen. And all this, all this conspiracy and thing fastened the process of killing Mahishi. So it doesn't matter. I forgive all of you. King Rajshekhara said, and Manikanthan said that now I must leave. My job is done here. I've killed Mahishi and now my work is done on the earth and I need to go back. So King Rajshekhara said, before you go, tell me, where should I build a temple? I really want to build a temple for you. And then Manikanthan said, okay, I'm going to shoot this arrow and wherever this arrow falls, make a temple right there. And then what did Manikanthan do? He took his bow and arrow and then he shooted it towards the Shabri hills. And on the Shabri hills on the top, the arrow fell. Now King Rajshekhara saw that. Manikanthan went off. He vanished. And then what did Rajshekhara see? That these Shabri hills are very difficult to climb. I wonder how we're going to make it. And Manikanthan had already mentioned that there should be only 18 stairs to that. That was a difficult thing to do. But you know what? Because he was God, things were all planned in the same way. So Vishwakarma, who was the celestial architect, he came to help. There was a beautiful temple built by Vishwakarma. And then King Rajshekhara had another problem. Ab murti kaun banayega? Bhagwan ki murti to bahut sundar banni chahiye, so who's going to make that? Looking at his worries, then who came to his rescue? Parshuram came to his rescue as a sculptor, and Parshuram created a beautiful, beautiful idol of Manikanthan, and that was soon placed in that temple in the Santorum, and there then the temple was all nicely built. Now remember that Divan, uska kya hua? Divan ko bahut bhayankar disease ho gaya. He was all bedridden, he had boils all over the body, and he was suffering a lot. And he prayed and prayed and prayed. And then Manikanthan came in his dreams and he said, what you need to do, my dear Divan, is that go and take a bath in the river Pampa, climb up the stairs, come to me, and you will be fine. That's what Divan said. He repented for all that he had done, all that he had conspired for. He went to the river Pampa, took a dip there, and as soon as he took a dip, he saw that his body was all nice now. He did not have any boils on his body. He had no pain. And then he realized the Manikanthan was God. And he ran up the stairs, saying, Ayyappa, 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 Swami, Swami Ayyappa. As he went there, and then he prayed to Lord Ayyappa. So this was the story of Ayyappa, or popularly called as Manikantan II. Pathinapadi, that is 18 divine steps to the Sanctum Sanctorum, is divine in all aspects. Every Ayyappa devotee, before he sees the Sanctum Sanctorum, has to lay his footsteps over 18 sacred steps. Initially, the 18 steps were made of granite. It was later covered with Panchaloha, a special composition of gold, silver, copper, iron, and tin, in the year 1985 to prevent it from deterioration. Pilgrims initiate their ascent up the Pathinatam Padi by placing their right foot on the first step. As per the tradition, only those who undertake the penance for 41 days and those who carry the irumudi on their head are allowed to use the steps. So, was it a nice story? You got to know about another son of Lord Shiva, isn't it? If you like this story, all you need to do is to like the video, to share the video, and to subscribe to our channel to listen to all such amazing unheard stories. Goodbye. See you.